Good morning. Happy Friday, everyone. This is April the 16th, 17th, and we're going to be talking about severe weather forecasts, Kansas and western Missouri specifically, and kind of an update from what I've seen yesterday. I'm still seeing the pattern kind of come over yesterday, 2 to 3 supercells in the KC metro area, and we're looking at the 2 to 4 vicinity. I'm going to say 3 to 4:30. That's kind of what I'm thinking, even though the dry line is already between Concordia and Manhattan now. So I think the dry line is through Manhattan by 11 o'clock, like I previously forecasted yesterday. And the front is catching up with that dry line. That's going to be an important piece of the puzzle for later, because as long as those two are separated, there's going to be a chance of supercells producing tornadoes. Once those two merge, it's going to transition into a high wind event, initially with some large to very large hail, where it looks like you could have supercells that could produce giant hail. There's one that keeps pointing to yesterday into today, roughly northwest Morris County going into northern Wabaunsee, southeastern Potawatomi County in the 3 to 5 vicinity is what that's still looking like. It could be a little bit sooner, but it all depends on when these two fronts merge. And as you can see, the winds are really starting to pick up as this dry line is getting closer to Manhattan, and there is a low-level jet already starting to form, which I think is going to focus a cluster of supercells in south central Kansas, in and just southwest of the Wichita area, and those will track northeast. And those could be the ones that produce some very, very large hail. Could be talking 5.5 inch diameter if those updrafts overshoot. But the window for supercells is pretty tight. 2 to 5 is going to be your supercells producing tornadoes and giant hail probability into south central Kansas up into the KC metro area and just north of the KC metro area. After that, it becomes upscale and the cold front dry line merge. So if there are two bands of storms, those are going to kind of merge together. And then you're going to have a line with bowing segments in it kind of riding the front, and it's much more positively tilted. So it's going to be moving more southeast, and it's going to look more like an east to west oriented boundary by the time we get to that point as it sags south. This could also mean some flooding, especially along and south of I-35 for today. So where there could be tornadic supercells, somewhat conditional with what I'm seeing. I think the cap, there's signs that the cap's going to break early, and then that's going to make things go upscale very quickly, because you need somewhat of a cap for the supercells. And the parameters are right for supercells, it's just the cap may not be strong enough. And even right now, while I can notice there's a cap over Manhattan or Ogden, Kansas, it's also showing signs that it's eroding because there's more agitated cumulus. So it's like in that magic temperature, looks to be about 85 degrees when the cap breaks. So there's going to be a 2 to 5 window, a couple supercells in the KC metro area, 2 to 3, and then one supercell, which I think is going to be just a hail producer going from northwest Morris County into Potawatomi County, is roughly what the models are pointing to, and it's been fairly consistent. And then and then down towards the Wichita metro, moving northeast. And I think the strongest chance of supercells looks like it's going to form in that southeastern Franklin, Miami, southeastern Johnson County side, move up kind of that direction, eventually tilt right before it becomes upscale with other storms. And then that other one, KC Airport to Richmond, still looks like in that vicinity. It still kind of points to the same. The timing's just a hair different. I think anything still is 2 to 5 for supercells, 5 and on, especially by 6. It is all upscale, and I'm going to say by 6, both lines will have merged. So it's going to be cold front dry line's going to come back together, and then it's going to sag southeast. So I will have graphics that show kind of where the supercells are. The ones in red are the ones I think have the best chance of a tornado, based on what I'm seeing when I'm looking at all the patterns with the various model parameters. So I'll get that all together. I'm also going to include the current satellite that was as of 14Z, which would be 9 o'clock. So you have that information as well. And I'll kind of give a focus because you can kind of see on that the agitation's already started, and it looks like that cap's going to burst by 1 o'clock in places, fully broken by 4. And then the upscale start pretty quickly after that. So that is my weather forecast for today. Still on the fence about chasing, and then if I do I go south and possibly get 6-inch hail, or do I head over to the Kansas City storms, which to me are a little more conditional at this point, but still I think the location's about the same as what I forecasted yesterday. All right, so if you have any questions, let me know, and if it looks like it's going to go more supercell, I will have more updates and maybe have some video for you.